If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune in to the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah. Cause if you wanna hear about St. Louis, tune in to the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Yeah. Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.
What's up, St. Louis? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the STL Bucket List Show. I am your host, Marissa Farrell.
And I am your other host, Luke Farrell. And we couldn't do the show without my guy, Matt, in the back on the ones and twos, cutting up a perfect episode for Spotify, Apple. We're on every single platform. If you're watching, we're on YouTube as well. We had a special little intro performance from one of my favorite people, but also our friends over at the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis. They're the largest public funder of arts and art programs in the city, and we really couldn't do the show without them. So without further ado, if you guys heard the intro or if you were watching on YouTube, you heard my guy, Alex Rich, musician, radio personality, influencer,
influencer. I do it all, man.
My guy A Rich created the Bucket List Anthem for the show. So every episode forward, we're going to be sharing that. Thank you for coming on, my guy.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. You know, we're normally got you coming in the studio, so I feel honored to be coming here into this studio that you guys have.
It's definitely different, man. You know, like your studio, like we're kind of low key, we're independent.
I like it, though.
It's cool. But yeah, we had you on. We made a Bucket List Anthem. How long did that take you to write? I mean, were you working on that?
Oh man, that was.
I saw you out in the car typing and shit.
I would say that was probably like maybe I don't know, 45. We'll say 45 minutes.
Okay, guys, if you guys haven't seen Alex Rich in performance, I mean, you got to go check him out.
Come on, it's a good time. It's like it's not just like you're not there for the music. You're there for like the whole atmosphere. That I'm gonna bring a good time. I'll play a little 3, 6, 9, damn you're fine.
Yeah.
You know?
That Hollywood Casino show was fire.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
And then we all came back after just to keep listening.
It was the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Came right off. The Backstreet Boys concert kept the party going. That was wild.
I heard they opened for
you. They did. Damn near with that turnout afterwards. Oh my God.
Yeah, the Backstreet Boys opened for you.
That was something else. We like to have a good time.
Absolutely. So our show is really unique in a way. We like to hear about our guests. So, you know, a lot of people know you, but they probably don't know the real you. So if you could just give us who is Rich? If you could give us an upbringing, where you're from, what high school did you go to?
I'm from the Lou. I am a Parkway North grad, so
shout out Parkway.
Shout out to P North, and I used to teach in Parkway.
Central.
Well, whatever. Rivals. It was always up in the air who our rival was. I think West thought Central was their rival.
Yeah, West is ours.
North thought Central was our rival. But in my opinion, all my friends, I had a lot of Central friends, so they were, I guess, my rival. But then went off to college. I went to Indiana, walked on, did a little baseball there. I actually my claim to fame is I'm Kyle Schwarber's backup catcher. I'll go with that, you know?
Yeah.
But
he's pretty good at baseball.
Decent, yeah. Decent. Couple World Series appearances. But did that, went away to school, and then came back, actually worked for the Cardinals for a year, doing ticket sales, like group tickets, season tickets, stuff like that. Wanted to do sports marketing, so majored in that in school, and then came back, worked for the Cardinals for a year in 2013 when they went to the World Series. So it was cool. I got I think you saw the ring the day I brought it in. And then went over to work for KMOX selling radio advertising for the Cardinals, staying connected, not specifically like directly for the team, but obviously being able to be a part of what goes on with what they do. And then have been it was CBS, Entercom, Odyssey, and worked my way in doing a little on-air stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm on the sales side, and on the on-air side now doing the mornings with Y98 with Brett and Julie and Kevin and what to do in the loo, man. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. So I don't know. I've been a lot of different, like, nobody really ever knows what I do, right? I do a little social media stuff. Yeah. I do a little social media stuff, but I kind of use my connections, I guess, that I've built being in St. Louis for my whole life to do many different things.
That's amazing. It's cool that you're like been around sports and been around St. Louis, and I can tell that because everybody knows you. Yeah. You know, which could be a good thing and a bad thing.
Well,
sometimes.
It's funny because people are always like, well, what do you talk about like on the radio? Like, is it sports? It's like, I don't talk sports at all. I like sports, but if you like know me, like I'm your average sports fan. Like I like sports a good amount, but I'm not like,
you don't eat, breathe, sleep.
No, I don't. I only like move my schedule around sometimes for like Indiana Hoosier basketball games.
Yeah.
Others and
Miami Heat games.
And maybe like a Miami Heat opener or something like that.
So when you were studying sports marketing, like what exactly did you see yourself doing?
Oh man, so that's a good question. I think I originally wanted to be like a sports agent. One of my best friends is Victor Oladipo, plays for the Miami Heat, and I always thought that side of like the business was really cool, and being able to look at and negotiate some of those deals. Not necessarily, it wasn't like the on-court deals that interested me the most. I think it was a little bit of kind of what I'm doing now on a larger scale, was like working on those endorsements for like different athletes and things like that, which I've done a little bit of. But I think overall, like that was a dream job. Like, I think I went to school wanting to be like a sports agent, and then figured out all these other things that I kind of like to do as well. And then figured out how to tie music into something like along the way as well. Yeah. You know, and in being able to take something that I have done my whole life, I think it was a goal of mine also, separate from like what I majored in school, was like to be able to make money no matter what it was, like whether it was sports or baseball or whatever, make money off of my own, like my actual talents. So like being able to now do gigs around town that we're getting paid to do and using a skill, I think that was like ultimate goal of like job.
Yeah, because you're like, if you're working for the radio, you're working for the Cardinals, you're selling stuff for other people. So at the end of the day, like you're going to get paid for what you do. But there's something different about earning $1 outside of your job. Yeah, it's so cool. Like if somebody pays us for an influencer thing, or if like we get paid to sell a shirt, like I'm like, that $12 I made on that shirt was way better than that $2,000.
You feel like a sense of like
independence.
Yes, you do. It's like when I'm out playing around town, I don't necessarily look at it as a job. Like I enjoy like playing music. I enjoy stuff like that.
When you're working with passion,
you know, you're a teacher. It doesn't feel like work.
I know. I'm being
shout
cliche,
out to the teachers.
But it's real.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the teachers.
Well, thanks for saying that. I do love them. It's funny because I've never really had a lot of people say that, and like there's been probably like, including you now, like 4 people on the show who have been like, thank you for what you do, or like, we appreciate
both
you.
of my parents
Shout
were
out to teachers.
And you might know a teacher
really?
too. I know a few
both
teachers.
Your parents were.
Both of my parents were. My girlfriend's a teacher, and I'm surrounded by teachers. I just can't escape them.
What did your parents teach?
My parents both taught in Rockwood for like 30 or 40 years, special school district.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
So my dad was an adapted PE teacher. And then my mom taught at Marquette. She did like 11th grade English specifically. And then my dad actually coached swimming and water polo at Rockwood Summit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but teachers, man.
That's a good job.
Teachers.
Shout out teachers.
Right?
No, for real, they do have a thankless job, and especially the work that you do outside of your job. Like a lot of us can go home and kind of shut off,
right?
You know, like you in sales and like in entrepreneurship, like you can't really shut off, but at the same time, like you can turn your phone off and like not worry about it. But like it's like we were up late last night till like
4 hours.
9:30 at night.
You're really like invested. You get invested into these kids' lives.
Oh, 100%.
Which is like it's.
I love.
I like
kids.
respect that passion that you guys have. Because personally, like I say it every day. Like I tell Annie all the time, I'm like I could not Could you imagine me getting up and going to teach like a class? Like, I think I'd be an okay teacher.
People would like you because you're a cool person.
You'd be the cool teacher.
Like, yeah, but
I'd sing songs to math or whatever, you know, like
that's a new way to learn.
Exactly.
Like formulas, math formulas.
What was that, Math House Rock or something? I used to grow up listening to something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know what it was, but
yeah,
that would be the kind of teacher I would be.
It's hard because, you know, there's days I'm like, I just want to, you know, we got work to do, but I'm like, relax.
Other people's days depend on you. That's what's crazy. Like, that's what's insane. I love that.
Yeah,
it's
I love
it. It's inspiring. Thank you for that, Rich.
It's totally inspiring.
Gas me up. I love it.
That's what this episode's all about.
It's about us. So we not only did we get a song to use for our intro, we're also getting gassed up on the episode, guys. I mean, this is next level stuff, man. So I wanted to ask you a question personally because like you just recently started going on air.
Yep.
Was that like ever in your mind, like I'm going to go on air? You've been around it. You've been working in radio.
And what was the transition like from the sales to going on air?
Oh gosh, I think it was always something that I kind of wanted to do. Not necessarily radio though, like specifically. I think it was entertainment as a whole. So even going back to like being the sports agent, like I guess I never really believed that I at some point could be on the other side of it where like I'm the entertainer. I'm the talent side of it, which is cool. And I've always kind of wanted to transition to that, I suppose. But on the radio side, like it kind of transitioned into years ago. I was on with Courtney when Courtney was over at Y98, and I would go on and we'd do like segments once a week. And it kind of got to be a little bit of a fun thing that we would do. And it would evolve into like more of a role. And then now where we're at, it's just kind of progressively gotten more towards being more full-time and having a larger role on air and on social media and things like that, where now it's kind of transitioned into being able to, I guess, sell your likeness, I suppose, or be able to use my own. So like I look at myself now as, I guess I'm my own personal brand that I can go speak on behalf of these other brands. And again, it goes back to like just kind of the connections, I guess, that I've made over the years with business owners and people in St. Louis to get myself into that position where it just kind of, it has all made sense. And I hopefully give people, like local people, like my friends and stuff, I hopefully give them a reason to like tune in and listen and see like, hey, what's Rich up to now? You know,
I love to listen.
I know.
Are you on Thursdays?
Thursdays.
Okay.
Thursdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny because
I know.
I was gonna say now you're giving me my weather.
I'm telling you, right? That's the funny. That was like what the first thing people started saying when I started doing more on air. They were like, "Did you just read me the weather?
The weather today?"
Yeah. It was hysterical.
It.
But you read a lot of ads because, like you said, you're already selling some of them. But like, why don't I read it? Because like the Diamond family, for instance, you know, like I'm wearing it. I know the people. Exactly. I can read it better than a piece of paper that I send to
it's like it's my own personal like experience of it, you know? So I think it all ties back well together, and just being able, I guess it's kind of gotten to where it is because for the most part, I'm pretty like I'm not a very confrontational guy. I don't think I'm pretty much, I can have an opinion on whatever, but I kind of fit into the conversations where people can ultimately, hopefully for the people in St. Louis, that they can relate. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows like St. Louis, especially like listening to Y98, like you have a personal feel to the talent on the station. Yeah. And people in St. Louis, everybody knows we're different. It's like we support local. That's like the whole big, that's our thing. We support everybody that we, you know, have those relationships with.
Which is why you're on now, because Brett was like listening and
shout out Brett. I mean, he took a chance. Nobody out here was doing that, like bringing influencers on there. And I'd say we're an influencer, but I also say like we're a media company as well.
Oh, for sure. No, I think it's awesome. I think when Brett reached out to start having you guys on, it broke down the barrier of like influencers just doing things on social media and kind of the crossover. It's kind of like the opposite crossover of like me kind of, you know, coming from the radio side, growing my name on that side, and then transitioning into more of like, okay, we can do some fun videos with some different local companies. And highlight and showcase. I mean, you guys know better than any. Showcase those awesome businesses that
You've
are
been
out
doing
there.
it though, and it's cool that like because you build your brand up on social or like through the radio, through social, through sales, and then now you have this like platform on Instagram, and like even though like 5,000-6,000 followers, like it doesn't seem like that much, but I always tell people this, and they've heard it if they listen to the show. But 5,000 people could fill up a whole stadium.
Oh yeah,
you know, so it is a lot of people.
Yeah,
even though there's
when
somebody
they're like they're the locked in, like they're the ones that are focused on. It's crazy to me, and I still say like it does kind of it's humbling a little bit. Like you're saying, oh, like I hear you sometimes in the car on the way to work. Like
I listen every
that's
single
cool.
day.
Like I definitely still I think that's cool, and like that feels good to hear. And it's also it's fun when like people are out and they realize like, you know, you'll see like I'm wearing something. You're like, oh, is that the Diamond family? Or like, what have you gotten to eat at Sugar Fire lately or whatever?
Arch
you know
Apparel,
what I mean?
whatever it
Exactly.
is,
Like, oh, is that the new Arch Apparel shirt? Like, so that stuff does work, and it's like that small group of followers still goes a very long way because they're a loyal group of people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're tapped in, and that's
they're
what I tell
P1s.
They're
Well, we see
That's what we
it.
call them, the P1s.
I have people
P1.
like at work too. Like again, like we always say, like it's bigger than us. Like it was funny. I was walking in a couple weeks ago, and one of my colleagues goes, "I know what to do in the loo this weekend. I heard from a little
That's the
someone."
best.
And I'm like, "Oh, you heard my husband?" She's like, "Yep." He gave me 3 things to do, and I was like,
They think we're
Right.
crazy. They think it's crazy, and I think it's crazy too. Like at this point, like I used to send the
It
link
is.
to my family every Friday, but now it's been like 40 weeks in a row. So I'm like, it doesn't. It's
Oh,
not. It's still cool. It's still cool, but it's like
Trust
after
me.
40, 50 weeks, you're just like, all right, they're gonna listen if they want to listen.
I get it. Like I get it more than anybody. Annie was listening for a long time. She still listens quite a bit, but it's like when you first start out doing it, it's like
Texting them like, hey,
oh my
tune in
God,
right now.
locked in every day. And now it's like more consistent where it's like people
I'll
have
catch
just
it when I catch
naturally
it.
heard. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I'll catch it when I
Exactly.
do.
It's actually funny because during the summer a couple months back, I was asked to officiate a wedding
Yeah.
for a
That's
couple
huge.
friends up in New York. And it was funny because her parents, like, they listen also to Y98, and like some of their friends and family listen. And so it was like, oh, is that
The guy on the
is that the
radio?
Alex from Y98 that's officiating the wedding?
In your wedding
Yeah,
video?
yeah,
And
Like,
somebody came up to me after and was like, that was lovely. Apparently, somebody asked the bride how they knew the pastor.
that's hilarious.
Talking about me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a Jewish guy that got ordained and did a wedding. I love, you know what I mean? Here to have a good time.
Right.
I
So-
love
Here for a
it.
good time, not a long time. But that's funny because like that's just cool. Like you just don't realize the impact and
Right.
like and really what happens. And it's just really cool to build something special and like use your talents. But like the music's completely separate now. But like you're
all
playing on the
separate.
radio every Friday
Right,
too.
right,
So
exactly.
You made a song for us, but I wanted to kind of hear a little bit more about the music. You said you've been doing it your whole life, but like was there like a spot in your life where you're like guitar and singing was your thing, or were you in bands? Were you in the school band?
This is actually funny.
Tell us the music story.
So this started early on. First thing I started to play was the drums. So my family kind of always had rhythm. My grandpa was in like the old arena. My mom's dad, like my grandpa he was in the St. Louis Blues like band.
Okay.
So they would have like an actual band at the games, at the old Blues games. And he played the trumpet, was like one of the best trumpet players in town. And so I've always kind of had, I guess, the musical genes in my blood. My mom was in like the youth symphony playing the violin when she was younger. It's actually funny if you get her to pick up the violin. Maybe that's next episode we do.
we'll
with
get her. We should have got
Get
your
her
mom
on.
on.
Get her on.
Shout out, Mom.
She's
She'll
a
listen.
ball.
Man,
She's a ball.
something.
I love
She's
her.
something. But it turned into so I played the drums growing up. My brother played the guitar. He's 6 years older than me. So I was kind of like suckered into like, hey, you're gonna play the drums because he already played the guitar, so we weren't gonna both play the guitar because we wanted to jam in the basement, you know. And I don't know how my parents put up with it, but we would rock out every single night, like
That's
get
so
home from
fun.
school, in the basement. Had the drum set, and then I think I got to high school and then I started playing the guitar because I wanted to learn. I liked that side of like, I had the percussion, like I had the rhythm down, and I guess I wanted to do more. Yeah. I guess that's when my ego got to me and I was like, I don't want to sit back and play the drums. I want to be the one in front of the microphone, you know?
Right.
So did that, and actually it was through my temple. There's a Jewish artist who's really famous. His name's Rick Recht. And he's really well known around town. And shout out to Rick. He's kind of the guy that took me under his wing, I guess, early on. And you know, I would like lead Sunday school, like music class with him, and kind of learned a little bit more as I progressed over the years. And then went away to college and continued to play a little bit more. Played in not really bars. I did like Big Man on Campus, it was called. So it was like a fraternity. Each fraternity had a representative that would go do this talent show. So they picked me to do it. And then that's kind of where I guess like my guitar playing like became more than just kind of a fun thing, was when I started doing it in front of people. And then it didn't start until like coming out of COVID. My boys at Sugar Fire hit me up and they were like, they didn't know I played the guitar until I started doing the COVID remixes
on social media,
which is how kind of this whole thing went, was like social media. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do these fun videos. I'll post it. If people watch, they watch. If not, like, I'm at least doing it and it's out there for people to laugh or smile or whatever. And so my boys at Sugar Fire, when they started opening back up, they were like, hey, do you think you can come play some live music? So I went out there, did, and I didn't know like I could play 2-3 hours of music, but figured it out.
That was the first time you did it? That
was like the first time. It was like
2020 late?
Yeah, it was like, no, it honestly was probably even like, yeah, I want to say it was probably like May of 2020.
Okay.
But it was like all outside.
Yeah.
All outside.
Is that when you were on the fire truck?
On top of the fire truck. They had me up on the fire truck out there.
At the Winsville.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was the first time I'd ever played. Like, I didn't have the equipment, speakers, nothing. Like, I just had the guitar. And so that was the other thing, was like, I can't play around town if I don't have the equipment, and I'm not going to buy the equipment. Like, at this time, I still don't really think I'm like that great, right? But people apparently, like, they enjoy listening. They enjoy the songs that I play. They enjoy the whole, like, performance of it, I guess. And so it turned into doing more out there until then I started doing Ballpark Village, and then Busch Stadium, and then Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, now the Enterprise. Jeez. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Wow.
But it's cool.
So you didn't have your equipment for the Sugar Fire, like you just had the guitar. What did you do?
I just had the guitar. So it was like one of those things where, like, my boy Matt was like, hey, I'll get the speaker, because, you know, they're going to use the speaker anyway for events and things like that. And so originally I started out just kind of borrowing that when I needed to. And obviously when I played out there, I used that speaker, but, and I borrowed it until it got to a point where it was like, okay, I should invest in my own equipment and be able to do this around town whenever I want. And so it's like, it's still crazy. It's shocking to me, right? It's still kind of like that. Wow. It's the same thing as like it's cool when you started going on the radio and doing that segment. It's like, it's the same thing. In my head, I still, every time, I just played the Cardinals playoffs. Like, in my mind, I'm more honored than anything that the Cardinals felt strongly enough, like they think highly enough of me to trust in me to entertain, you know,
in a playoff game.
In a playoff game, tens of thousands of people, right? And all the other options and people in town. And again, like, I don't by any means think I'm like the best at all. And so it's like, it is heartwarming to me when people come up after I play or whatever. They're like, we love listening. Like, we loved, you know, the songs you were playing. So like, that stuff's cool to me. And it's still like pretty shocking that I'm playing at places like this, you know, like
you would be a fan at.
I would be the fan on the other side of things. And it's like, now I'm on the entertainment side of it. And it's
from a fan to the man.
From what's that, like the start to my commercial, like from the fan to the man, like my political ad.
No, but it's cool though, because like you and Annie are like driving in the golf cart, like getting there pregame. Like the Hollywood thing's cool because like you not only get to play there, but you also get to like stick around for the show,
parking backstage. It's crazy.
It's opened you up to so many opportunities, and you know, it's good. Like you said, you don't think you're as good as those people, but it is good and it entertains people. The songs are people they know, so they're comfortable with the songs. songs.
Yep.
You know, and that's what I love about, you know, I would call it parody remixes, whatever you call it. Like, that's just what I love about that. So I'm glad that COVID, another thing of somebody during COVID.
Almost
find the
everyone we've
positive, right?
spoken to,
Every like business owner.
it's come out of, a lot of it has come out of COVID. Like a lot
Right?
of people's successes, which is just crazy. Us too. I mean,
a lot of pivots.
a lot of time to think
Right?
and plan and say, what do I want to do with my life and what's purposeful to me? And yeah.
And then you
That's
as an
kinda-
entertainer, you were like, as a social butterfly person, you were probably like one of the worst because you're like, dude, I need to
Oh,
talk
I
to
wanted
people.
to get out there.
You just want to put videos out
I
to like
did.
connect with people.
That's honestly like a big thing was,
I miss people.
yeah, I missed people. I would put a video out and like people would comment on it. Like it was like even one of my old baseball coaches like commented on it and he was like, this is great. Cause originally like, again, I was like kind of new to like posting stuff. So I think the first video I posted was like private. So only my friends could see it.
It's scary
on
to put
Facebook.
yourself out like that.
And
like,
so he was like, can you make it public?
So I can
And I didn't even know, like, I didn't even know. And then I did that. But like him reaching out
Mhm.
and wanting to share something that I was doing, like not necessarily for like a cause or a charity or anything, but like literally something that was just me. Like I thought that was really cool.
No.
So I think that changed things. But yeah, that COVID did it. Obviously, it changed a lot of things for worse, but there's a lot of good things that came out of it as well.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
What do you think your best, and this is probably hard, but like, what do you think your favorite memory performing is? Like what place, how many people?
Oh man, that's a good question because I've tried to like kind of keep track in my head of like where those big places are at. I would say that honestly, when you guys are the Backstreet Boys, that was like
it has to be Backstreet Boys.
'cause
You
it
were
wasn't-
thriving and living your best
Yes.
life. Those are your boys.
The after party.
And
the
then-
after party was sick. Like we went back in there, and again, it wasn't like the size of the crowd necessarily,
The energy.
but man, it was the energy in there,
Mhm.
and like when the energy is high energy, and you're out there, and you're the one that's
Creating
providing the
that.
entertainment and creating that energy for those people, like that makes you dig even deeper where you're like, oh, okay, like I got to keep this momentum going.
Impact.
Yeah.
Your voice was gone.
We're getting kicked out. Like,
We were.
They were like, okay.
That man was, we were literally packing up the speaker and he's like, hey, speed it up. It's like, dude,
I'm
are you
trying.
kidding? Like, let me,
know.
give me a
Let me
second.
get a second. Let me get my fame real quick,
Yeah,
bro.
man, give
you
me,
know who
like,
I am, dog?
15 seconds. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, but your boys were like getting
Yep.
lit, and you guys were lit overall at the show. I mean, the Backstreet Boys.
It
I
was
mean,
just such
It's a little,
good.
with the Backstreet Boys is a little before your time, right?
yeah, it was. Yeah,
Just on the,
we're
like,
27.
'cause
we're
we're
27.
27.
you
So
were just like 3 or 4 years off of the
Yeah.
prime of the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you saw the energy. Me and my
Yeah.
boys we were in that booth, like just dance moves all.
Oh, I saw you guys
All-
like had coordinated moves, and then Andy's
our-
like, no, they do this.
Our
at
little
home."
side
she's
to
like, they
side.
do this. Like
We do?
in the
She's like,
basement.
they do this.
Oh, you're damn right. You're damn right. We got the karaoke pops out in the basement sometimes on the
That
weekends.
is so fun.
Yeah,
you want
it's,
to come? That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's all about good vibes. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I said, hey, you want to go to the Backstreet Boys? You were like, immediately.
Same day.
No doubt.
Let's get it.
We're in.
Yeah, we're always down for a good time, and it's important, especially while we're young and you don't have these families and other obligations.
Yeah.
Like, might as well try to live it up while you can. Because there's going to be a
100%.
time where you're not going to play every weekend.
No, I'm glad you say that because, like, and also you guys too, like, are at that point where it's like later in life, you'll have the kids, you'll have to make plans around family plans and things like that. And that's one thing that I kind of have learned and that I changed from earlier on in life was I tried, I guess, to plan more so around other people rather than like the things that I want to do or the things that are going to make me happy, right? Like I still have plans and like I'll stick to those plans that I have with other people or whatever. But like now it's like, oh, if I want to go to this, maybe I'll be tired the next day or something, but I want to go. So I'm not going to let that hold me back from going and doing something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
And you
about
guys
that
do a lot too. You guys,
We go out. We're, you know what I mean?
Shoot, every time we're out, we see you out.
Right.
I'm like,
I mean, I'm
there's
telling
Rich and
you,
Annie.
yeah.
which is funny. I'm not out as much as you think.
Yeah.
I'm out in just the things that you need to be out at.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
No, absolutely.
The things you don't want to miss.
But you travel a lot too, because you it seemed like this like was the season of weddings for you. A lot
Oh
of
my
people getting
God,
married.
man. It
I've
was like,
never seen someone go to so many
it
weddings.
was insane.
I've never seen that.
It was so
You got a
crazy.
lot of
That's an
friends.
expensive summer.
You got a
I
lot
think I
of
spent like
friends.
something like 10 grand on just weddings this year, like going to weddings. Like we
Gifts
had
and,
one
like,
in
travel and
everywhere.
Travel.
Seriously, it's insane. So if you need anybody to be a professional wedding goer, I'm your guy.
He's
no,
ordained and everything.
I am ordained. Yeah, and the other thing, like I emceed a wedding this year. Wrote a song for the intro. It was
Oh,
great.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean that was like whatever. If there's something that I guess I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, no, I think you didn't ask the question, but I'm gonna answer the question. The coolest place I went for a wedding this year was Key West. That wedding was pretty awesome. We went to Arizona. We went to Chicago, Indy. I mean, you name it, we went there.
That's awesome.
Of course, Miami.
You
know, we got to get you guys down there.
Shoot, I'm trying to hang with DJ Khaled, bro.
I'm telling you,
He's
I
down there in
love
courtside.
Miami.
Isn't he?
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
DJ Khaled, bro. He just Miami's just like, I mean, you were in Miami this summer, or that was.
Did you do like a bachelorette party
Yeah,
in Miami?
It was my best friend's bachelorette
No.
party. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was rowdy.
Yeah.
It was rowdy.
Wow.
We were in
Good
Vegas
time.
with my other friend, and she was with his future wife or wife now. So it was Vegas and Miami. We like that was a.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
It wasn't no like Lake of the Ozarks. It was like
Wow.
Vegas,
No,
Miami.
that's quite a same weekend.
Yeah, same weekend.
Oh wow. That's all I can say is good God.
Oh, good God.
Good God.
Good God.
Good grief.
Good grief. That's
my God.
crazy.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So let's talk St. Louis, man. I mean, you're super involved in the community, whether that be with charitable stuff,
Yep.
whether that be with businesses. But what does like being a community advocate or community supporter mean to you? And like, why is that important to you?
I think it's an important thing for everybody to have some tie to the community because at the end of the day, it's helping to improve like our home. Regardless of what that charity is. I do a lot with Operation Food Search, you know, and I just got involved a couple of years back. But even that, like in the sense of helping, yes, to make the community better, but it also betters myself because yes, I'm meeting other people to connect with in the community, but also I'm able to tie into something that like I've known growing up in St. Louis, like a local charity that really it's, I think it all, again, it goes back to making it a better place where you're doing something to help them that helps something else that's local.
Right.
And not that non-local charities aren't like something great to be involved with, but for me, that's like what I think is important. And I think that I try to, as much as I can, volunteer for things, you know, just because it's yes, obviously, like even on the guitar side of things where you have to know when, like at certain points, what are you charging for, or what's going to be, you know, what do you need to go out and do to make things better. And part of that is being able to see like some of the people smile and be entertained, like especially on this side of things,
Right.
is, you know, seeing their reaction and knowing that you're kind of making a difference, I guess. I think that's a cool thing.
Absolutely.
Making a difference, you know, no matter what that is. But yeah, I mean, I think having a personal tie into something really, it helps me, I don't know, not necessarily feel like you're like doing something good, but you're doing something that makes you feel good.
Yeah, well, so, like you said, like it's weird to say that, but like sometimes it does make you feel good to do things for other
Right.
people. Like some people like live off doing things
Right.
for other people, and that's not a bad thing.
Right.
You know, it's sometimes bad like to say it like, oh, because it makes me feel good, but at the same time, you're like working with a local community nonprofit that's helping people in the community. But at the end of the day, it's helping you. It's making you feel good when you go to sleep.
Yeah, and look, I don't have like the kind of money to give back, like
Right.
you know what I'm saying. That's gonna make a real
change.
which anything makes a change, right? Like any amount makes a change. You don't need to donate like $10,000, $20,000 at a time, you know. But if I had that money, like certainly I feel like even who I am now, I feel like I'm a pretty like sharing or caring person where I'll try to spread the wealth as much as I can. But going off of that, I think, you know, maybe I don't have the amounts of money to donate to feed hundreds of thousands of families, whatever, but I can at least make a difference on my side of things by volunteering my time
and helping raise it.
Exactly.
And finding people that do have the money.
finding the people that do and helping them understand, the difference that they're making.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's a big key factor in being a part of, again, the local community and making St. Louis better.
You guys can come do something with us when we do our bucket list gives for the next year, just getting involved with charities and organizations. And we're just going to donate our time
So for
every now and then
for 12 months next month, and we're going to probably keep it going every year, but like each month we're going to pick a different organization to highlight. So we're going to highlight them by having them on the show.
Awesome.
And then after that we have them on the show, we're going to go volunteer. So it'll be like a cool like little mini come on the show, let's talk.
It'll be cool to highlight all, like the charities that a lot of people don't necessarily know about.
Yeah.
And even some of the people that are involved with it, like some of the board members, like having them on. But like let's say like we shared some stuff of the Operation Food Search that you did, but like let's say we have them on, talk about it, and then we cover the event too.
Right.
And just help like you said, we can't just write, and nor do we want to just write a check and give it to somebody. But like we want to go out there and work. We want to get our hands
it's like
dirty.
you see where that's all, like where that money is going to.
Sure.
So I think that's a big part of it as well.
Absolutely. So do you have any?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you see for yourself? I don't know if you're like one of those guys who's like, I have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, but
that's funny. No, I'm
do
definitely
like
not.
A 5-year.
I am not one of those.
Like,
I'm not that calculated.
Okay. I didn't think. I mean, just where do you want to see yourself?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's being able to use the connections and the, I guess, skills that I have. That sounds so cliche.
No, but I know I've said
skills
a
and
bunch.
the
I said a bunch
talents
of cliches today.
Like an athlete, like at the thing. Like my team and my coach. I just want to thank
it couldn't do it without my teammates. No, I think for me, it's using, the things that I don't know that it's one specific thing, right? I think it's using my voice as much as or as little as people want to listen to continue to spread, obviously, good, but also like continue to make people happy and make them smile and spread that just positive energy regardless of what I'm doing, and doing that in a way of doing things that I enjoy, that I love. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll have
an album coming?
Maybe yeah,
That's what people were waiting for.
Exactly. So this is where I'd like to announce. But no, for me, I don't think I want to restrict myself to a 5-year plan of here's what is exactly going to happen. I think everything in my life to this point has kind of organically happened.
Yeah.
So I feel like,
why mess that up, or why like?
Yeah, I guess I have an idea of like the direction. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing and go be like an accountant. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's not my personality. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. So, I think if I stay down that path, it'll kind of lead me to where I need to be.
Yeah. 100%.
What do you know?
I love it. That's great.
Yeah, a lot of people like can have these plans, but like you said, like it's just having a good mindset, and like things will happen like this. You didn't think you were going to be a musician. No. Now you're a musician.
No, but sometimes I do really wish like I was like a teacher, right? Like, exactly what you like, right? I have no idea what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even right now, I have zero idea, like really what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, do I think it'd be cool to be like a world famous rock star? Like, sure. Who doesn't think that, right? Like, but like you wake up every day, like, like I want to teach, I want to go like help the kids of our future. And like, sometimes don't you know what I mean?
I get that same feeling of like, not an anxious feeling, but almost like, well, I don't know if I'm going to, like, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So like, I don't know if I'm going to have a client or money.
Exactly.
Like she knows when she goes into school, she knows when she gets off. Like, I don't know. I don't have an off time. I don't have to go into work. Like, even you, like, you have kind of a set schedule, but you're bouncing around all the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm bouncing. But it is like...
It's the uncertainty that's like, man, I wish I just, like, sometimes you wish you just had somebody like, hey, come here, leave at 4, go out, like, whatever. But, like, or, like, something to work towards.
Right.
Like,
doctors know they want to be doctors. Or, like, teachers know they want to be teachers. Like, for me, it's just kind of same thing.
That's why with you being on the radio, like, you never thought you were going to be on the radio.
No,
now you're like, well, maybe I'll be on 5 days a week. You just never know.
Yeah, you never know what it leads into. So that's where it's like the organic feel of
enjoy the
just
ride.
Gotta sit back and
enjoy the
nobody
ride.
knows what
enjoy
they're doing.
The
and if
ride.
you know what you're doing, send us a message and we'll try to find out. But at the end of the day, everybody's just, trying to be the best that they can be.
Yeah, that's what it all is. That's the plan, is be my best self and be happy.
Be happy.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Be passionate about what you're doing.
Like you have some bad days, I'm sure, but you're like happy at the end. At the end, like knowing
there's always a little something that makes the day.
There's always
a little something.
Well, there's always something
I know his
bad.
name. No,
What'd you say?
I was just like, I know his name.
Trust me too.
There's always a little something.
Little something.
But then there's always a lot more that's great. And so I know that's cliche. That's another
And they're
cliche,
blessed because they get to like really our jobs are really great. We get to like entertain people, or like I do marketing. Like I really get to help with marketing. But at the end of the day, it's like, is it that big of an, like you can make it a big impact. That's why we're trying to do more stuff.
But I always say like, we're not, there's also the other side of it where like people take, what I do super, super serious as far as like the sales side, or really like any sales job. Like they take it super serious and like lose sight of the fact that like, dude, we're not doing, like, this isn't rocket science, that we're not saving like people that are dying. Like we're not making that impact. So it's like, for a second, that kind of goes into like, you have to do something that you enjoy doing and that you're not going to like constantly stress yourself out about, because there's bigger things in life than like what your job is.
Than your numbers.
Than your numbers or whatever, however you're being measured on certain things. But like, yeah, it's like sometimes people need to take a step back and just live life, enjoy life. Like, don't be, people these days are too upset. Like how much stuff is going on out there in the world right now where people are like pissed off for no reason. It's like, just chill. Everybody just chill. Smoke a joint and just chill out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Absolutely, man.
Relax a little bit.
Go over to Suede. Go over and see my people over at Suede and Beeley.
They'll get something for you.
Yeah, they'll get you taken care of. They'll get you taken care of. But no, that's hilarious, man. I love that. But you're right, though.
Ask another question.
Oh, go ahead, baby.
Okay, before you do. But I'm just something fun.
All right.
Favorite artist, like who just gets you pumped up, like not pumped. That's so
Pumped
whack.
Who gets me in my my zone?
Who gets you in your zone? Like if you're gonna pregame, who's like?
Oh, you're asking a lot of different ones.
So
who's the pregame? Okay. Who's my influence?
We'll do three. Let's say influence. Who you're listening to most now, and then what are you turning on? Like, what's the first song you turn on when you get the aux at the party? So you got three.
Oh, okay. I got to go backwards. The first song I turn on when I get the aux at a party is Roddy Rich now.
I put the new 4Gs on the Jeep.
That's it right there. That's the, like, if I had a walkout song, that's it. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. I could listen to that song on repeat right now, and I do it pregame sometimes if I get the aux cord.
And they're like, all right, change it.
Yeah. So the next Roddy song I go to. No, I think like anything like that, hip hop, but for sure right now, pregame Roddy Rich is it. Think for artists that is kind of an influence on me is, I want to say like Ed Sheeran, kind of, because Ed Sheeran, what a lot of people don't know, people might know, he writes a ton of music.
Yes.
For like everybody.
Yeah.
He writes for Justin Bieber. I know he's collaborated with the T Swift.
I was gonna say Taylor, right?
Yeah, they're I hear about it all the time. They're like best friends, apparently.
He knows.
I know the ins and the outs of the Swifties.
Yeah.
I know all that stuff. Ed Sheeran's awesome though. Like, and did you guys go see Ed at Busch Stadium by chance?
No, I wanted to. And were you there?
Yeah. So like the fact that, so he goes by himself, and it's him and a guitar. And that's it. And it's crazy because all of the sounds that come out of, like, he fills a whole stadium and does this all over the world. And like the talent that takes to you're producing all of that sound. So like all the stuff he's doing through looping pedals, and like he's doing all the drumming sound through his guitar, which is like incredible. The musical talent that goes into that. Yeah. And just the type of like being an acoustic guitar player that plays around town.
And he's amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Amazing.
And he
seems like a cool dude too.
And he's got a great shoe collection.
Does he?
Great shoe collection. But seems like a fun dude. You'd hang out with.
Yeah.
So I would say like that's an influence. And then what was the third?
what did we say? We said most influential. We said what it's the pregame, and then we said who's in the rotation the most right now.
Who's in the rotation the most? Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims.
Yeah.
Teddy Swims. I just went to I hadn't been before, the Red Flag. It was a cool venue. But Teddy Swims, man. Yeah. You're laughing at the Teddy Swims?
I don't know who that is.
I know. People, I was talking to a buddy, they were like, no way,
I'm laughing
that's
because
that real
Luke writes
name.
it down on his page.
Teddy Swims.
Look, I said Rick Wrecked. I have Rick
That's
Wrecked
it.
on here.
I love that.
He just writes
write
it
random
down.
shit.
I love that. That's what you got to do.
I said P North, Rick Wrecked. I signed my name and then I did Teddy Swims.
Were you practicing your signature over there? Teddy Swims. You haven't heard Teddy Swims?
No.
He's like a soulful, like kind of love.
Okay.
Not like all the way love, but like kind of rap too. You know?
So that's almost like your style a little bit.
Yeah, like I'll play
it.
anywhere from like Snoop Dogg to Usher to, you know, a John Mellencamp
I
song.
love some good old Usher.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
Keep
good
people
old
guessing.
Yeah.
Be all over the map. But
Okay.
yeah, I love music. And Annie laughs because sometimes I'll put on a song where like the words, like the lyrics aren't necessarily like the most happy like lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Or like they're maybe not, the meaning of the song is not necessarily what
Yeah.
she would look at and be like,
I feel,
oh my God. But what people don't understand is it's crazy. I don't listen to songs like, to a point I listen to some of the lyrics, but like I'm really like a music oriented person where I'm listening to like the instrumentals of like, if I like it and it's kind of a feel good beat, then I like it.
But sometimes like sad songs are good though. Like sometimes like even if it's like a sad depressed song, like
Who's that guy you really like that you always listen to that I always am like, he makes me feel sad when you put him on.
And there's this Mitchell Tenpenny song that I sing all the time. It's like drunk me or something like that. And I like, it's just the rhythm to it is so good. And I'll be singing it. She's like, who are you thinking about when you're like singing that song? I'm like, chill. I just like the beat. I just like the beat.
It's like Kiss the Sky.
Oh, that's MGK.
Is that? No, that's not who I'm talking about.
I'm sure MGK's probably got a lot of songs that are
his newer
actually.
stuff is like a little bit
But
more
that's
like the
not
rock
who I
Who was in
talking
your
about.
rotation?
J. Cole, I listen to like a super lot. Like I just love his music.
Love J. Cole.
I love J. Cole. I love who do I listen to? Russ. Russ is like another rapper that I listen to a lot. J. Cole, Russ, MGK I listen to. But yeah, mostly hip hop. But I'm a big podcast guy though. I like to listen.
You?
Yeah, I listen
to learn from the trades out there or what?
Well, I listen to sports podcasts. Like,
do you?
Yeah, I
All
like sports talk and
all day. You're like the sports guy.
No, I'm not the sports guy, but I do like I'm a big fantasy football guy, so I got my fantasy football podcast because I don't have time to like research it, so I need somebody to tell me what moves to make so I can
We're
win.
getting
Play
ready.
this person
We'll
into
get
it.
ready to go somewhere. I'm listening to music and he's listening.
I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to start because I know if I'm going out Saturday night, I got to get my
You gotta
lineup set.
line
I got to
it
get
up.
my
Crazy.
lineup set.
See, and I'm the guy, like I said, I'm the guy that likes sports, but I just
Like
can't.
listen to
I don't do fantasy. I can't do a fantasy.
You lose interest over.
I do.
It's
I
too
do.
long. Like you're
Yeah,
hyped
that's
for the
a
draft,
really
and then like it's
long-
fun to
like,
kick it with
I
the
like
boys.
to like watch. I'll get together on Sundays and watch football with people, but I'm not
a big commitment.
right.
Hater.
Who's in your rotation?
Oh my gosh.
I know I saw you at the Olivia Rodrigo.
I do love
concert.
Olivia Rodrigo. That was so fun.
Is that
was
is
so
that still
fun.
like? Is that still? Has she trended off a little bit? Would you say since?
I feel
I
right?
don't think she's
Yeah.
dropped anything, has she?
Well, I
I
mean,
do feel like that.
a little bit. I don't mean to
100%.
out Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, we
by
love
any
you, girl.
means,
We do. We love you, but
right?
yeah, quiet.
We need something.
We need a little something. Lately I've been listening to Alicia Keys again.
Okay, yeah.
I really love Alicia Keys. Who else? I listen to a lot of everything. Like if I pull up Spotify,
Like you like the new Beyonce and like
I
the
don't like the new Beyonce.
You don't?
There's only the one song.
Cuff It.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
good
the
one.
only
That's
song
a
I
jam.
like. I don't love everything else, but
That the one
like
with the
okay,
dance?
Yeah,
you wanna
that's
know
the
who I was
dance.
listening to? You're gonna die.
Last
This
song.
is Glenn Miller.
Okay. No way.
This is what I was listening to.
On the way here.
Yeah, just sometimes
Really?
a little bit of just.
Well, she listens
weird
to a lot of
things.
like your
Old
favorite bands like
music.
Mumford and Sons for a while.
I haven't listened to Mumford in a
That
minute.
was your favorite.
So like
band
you were in
Black
your car by yourself
Keys.
listening to that
Yeah,
song.
it just makes me feel good.
Really?
I know that's
I would never have
strange.
like if you
I know.
lined up 100 songs, that would be literally the last song
I
I'd
know.
ever pick.
It's crazy.
But she's
It's
got like a very
strange.
diverse, like it just depends on what we're. But like we'll like sit there and
I
listen to
will-
Leon Bridges and just sing our
I
asses
do
off.
love
and, like,
Leon Bridges.
Leon's good.
Yeah.
He's great. I'm just kind of back in my R&B Like,
All right, I got a question
music
for you
right
guys.
now.
If there was one person that you could go see in concert that you have not seen, who would it be? And they could be current. They could be current people. Like current person for me would be like Bruno Mars. I've never seen Bruno Mars in concert.
Okay.
All time for
I've
me.
heard he's really great.
I've heard he's unbelievable. So this is a 2-part question.
Okay.
All time for me, probably Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. So I would say Michael Jackson just because, or Michael Jackson or Prince for the all time.
Sure, we could. Those
two
are
shows.
Those are side by side.
And then this person's not good anymore, but like I would love to see Eminem in 2001 when he was like one of
Brett
those.
would. You know, Brett's a big Eminem, huge Eminem.
Is
That's his
he?
favorite.
Is he?
Oh,
But like
big time.
the new,
love
like
that.
I haven't liked any of the things he's put out for like
Really?
10 years. I love like the.
He's gotten
overall-
his old stuff was real. Maybe he's gotten less angry over the years.
I think
Yeah,
so.
and it
His
wasn't even
angry
angry.
rap was
I'm-
good.
So.
I'm not
It
even
is.
Right?
It does.
The-
If honestly, this is a horrible thing to say, but like, the more of a mess your life kind of is.
Your music's almost better in
Yeah.
ways.
Not always, but
Not
like
always.
when he cleaned his life up, his music just started going down because he didn't have shit to talk about.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just think that would be an
really don't
experience
know.
though. Going to 01 show with like him and Dr. Dre, and, like the
Oh.
Slim Shady LP. Like,
How about that Super Bowl show?
ooh, oh, the Super Bowl show would have been lit too.
Yeah.
I think like right now, I'd love to see J. Cole. He was in Chicago recently. People just aren't like hitting St. Louis as much anymore.
What is it about?
I don't know.
Right?
We have work to do. We need to bring those
That
people
needs to
out
be
here.
the
We need to
next-
open our pockets up.
That needs
and
to
bring
be
some
the
people.
yeah. So Bucket List needs to sponsor
That's
the
what I'm
next
saying.
big
We have
show.
work to do.
I'll open for you guys, and
As long as you sell 50 tickets for
Yeah,
us.
50, that's it.
That's what I
you'll
got,
let me,
baby.
you'll let me play the first song if I sell 50
I
tickets.
love it.
It's a fair
Like,
trade. I'll
Kodak
take
Black's
it.
coming. I told you about that.
Yeah.
she
I
said,
don't know.
yeah,
I don't
care.
really. I know who that is, but I don't listen to a lot of like current rap.
Really?
I just don't. I don't.
What would be your show? What's your all-time show that you would love to go to?
I don't know.
Okay,
I
what about
listened literally to everyone.
Do you think
I don't
Olivia
know.
Rodrigo was probably that show a couple months ago, or not even?
No, that was like my best friend asked me to go.
Okay.
I kind of like mentioned it, and it was really fun.
All right. So who would it be? Alicia Keys? Have you seen Alicia Keys?
No, and I
saw her.
would
She's
love
great.
to see Alicia Keys.
She's great.
She actually was just here like
Yeah.
a month or two ago.
She took a
Yeah.
picture by the
She was
arch or
here.
something whenever she was here. You saw Beyonce.
I've seen Beyonce.
Have you?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I would imagine she puts on
Biebs?
like
That was like I've seen Bieber.
Bieber's
twice.
great. I've
Yeah.
seen Biebs.
Yeah.
I've seen Carrie Underwood. Like my music palette is all over the place. All over the
Clearly,
place.
based on what you just
yeah,
played me.
yeah,
there.
right.
I took a history of rock and
Don't
roll
judge
class
me. That's
actually in
weird,
college,
but
and it was like I did get a good taste of like old school. Like I like some of that old school stuff sometimes.
it's a good feel.
But I will say like music to a point is not what it used to be.
Mhm.
If
Why do you
that
say
makes sense.
Why do you- like it's not as good, or it's just not as like thought out.
It's just way different. Yeah, it's just way different. Like even when those original rap groups started, like the stuff they were coming up with and the stuff that they were putting out was like never heard, never been done, never heard. And now like, you know,
They're sampling those beats.
sampling
and-
everything. Now it's hard to find a song that doesn't, it's hard to find like a mainstream song that doesn't have some sort of sample.
Mhm.
Like how many artists these days are we hearing about? Like so Ed Sheeran literally just got sued for something a couple months ago for like saying that he ripped off. So, like
Mhm.
how often are we having this
all
happen
the time.
nowadays,
I just
right?
told my kids this. They were asking me about a song, and I was like, "You guys know that's like a copy of a copy.
Of a copy.
Like that's
it was what
not
Big
even
Lotto. It was
Oh, I got
Even-
big energy.
big energy.
that one."
Mhm.
And then I also showed them that is it the Doja Cat? Like you ain't nothing but a
Oh my
hound.
god,
that's
that,
Elvis
from the Elvis movie.
That shit was fire when they played
That-
the Elvis
that-
movie.
Which
song.
that's a really good. What you call it? Parody.
That's just
Remix?
she
Remix?
sampled like some of the, I don't even think, I think it's just the words.
But
It's
it
just the
comes
words.
all the time. Like in Drake off of Eminem, like he says, I can't even
Off
say
the
it.
Chicago
Yeah.
I can't even say
I can't say it on there. But
No, it's like I do know one
when
thing
they
though.
know women, they come, they
Yeah.
go. That's from Eminem. Like you
Yeah.
just hear it all the time. They just
But that's like more of a
snap.
respect thing sometimes. Like I bet Eminem was like, "Oh, that's dope that Drake did that. Like that's cool." Like,
Yeah.
but there is people to be like, "Oh, that's my line" or something like
Oh,
that.
100%. But I don't know, man. Like the boy bands aren't like, there's some good boy bands, but like even those aren't as cool as they were in the 90s,
They're
right?
not cool at all. I feel like people.
I
hate
never
on
was
boy
into
bands.
them when they
I
like.
gotta
when
say,
they
I'm
were-
like kind of a sucker a little bit. Like BTS has some good songs out
Mhm.
there, but like nothing's hyped like, and when the Backstreet Boys and like NSYNC were prime and like even One Direction and like
One Direction was good. I did like
Yeah.
One Direction.
like those
It's harder. I think it's harder because the whole streaming services now is like music is not as like there's no reason to put out an album. Just put out a single here and there. Like you put out an album like and then like Drake will drop his album, but then like it's just digital. It's not real. Mm-hmm. And then the next 3 days somebody else will drop. And if it's not on the charts, then you forget about it. So it's like I feel like it's hard to like it's just really hard to be creative. And but that it's just like movies. Like we're like, oh, that's just another remake coming out.
100%.
We're running out of content, bro.
And
we were talking about it on the show. We were talking about it on the show a couple of weeks ago. Kevin was talking about like, oh, it was like a Winnie the Pooh movie that's getting remade into like something like real demented.
Yeah.
Or you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like we've run out of everything else that we're remaking like scary Winnie the Pooh movies.
Yeah, right.
Like, dude, leave Winnie. Like, dude,
leave her alone, bro.
Let Winnie and Christopher Robin be, and just you know what I mean.
Christopher Robin be.
Let them just
go back into the woods and just live life.
I'm serious.
We're
man.
good.
It's crazy,
That's
man.
hilarious.
So to wrap it up, man, we always like to talk about the bucket list. Mm-hmm. So the bucket list is basically we built this on highlighting places that we love.
Of course.
And now it's turned into suggestions from other people. Like we can't go to every restaurant. We try, but we can't. So people want to hear what are Rich's favorite bucket list spots in town. So like this could start with food, parks, places, anything. Just like what's an idea. We've done this before.
We did this.
But this could be different. Like just places that you
That was kind of early on when we first kind of met too.
Yeah, I just hit you up with a DM. So I shared a picture of you holding a beer. And I was like, this picture's dope. I want to share it during the Blues. And then like I think
I know exactly the picture you're talking when the Blues won the cup.
Yeah, and you were sitting there with the drink. Yeah. And I was like, I'm just gonna share it on the page, like go Blues.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, yo, let me get your bucket. I was just reaching out to everybody, trying to meet people.
Yeah. For me, I mean, it's a lot of different things, right? Like I kind of live near Forest Park. I live in Richmond Heights. So I'm obviously a sucker for just going and walking around Forest Park. Like I just think it's awesome. I think especially in the fall, it's like if you've seen
so pretty. We went.
We were just there.
The top of Art Hill, like when all those trees change, it's incredible. But then even like a day when it snows, I just think it's beautiful. And I think it's like, I think that's the part of St. Louis that when people come to St. Louis, they don't see that. Yeah, they don't.
It's not like in New York where it's right downtown.
And it's the biggest. Like people don't know, like Forest Park, and this could be a fact that maybe you have to fact check me. I don't know, but I think it's like one of the biggest. I think it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, like city park in the country.
I know it was rated the best city park by USA Today. But yeah, you're right because like there's the zoo is inside it.
Yeah,
art museums inside
like,
of it. The Muni's inside
the zoo. Like like we love just going to the zoo all the time. Like we're zoo friends. So
it's
like
free.
That's a bucket list thing to do. Like why would you not? Like sometimes I'll walk up to Forest Park, walk around it, and it'll be a nice day. It's like, hey, literally one time this summer we popped into the zoo to get an ice cream cone and a lemonade. Checked out a couple. Walked through the penguins to cool off a bit and then walked home, So I love that. Food wise, who am I kidding? I'd have to shout out my
let me guess.
My sugar fire, my chicken out. I finish it up with the cookies.
Okay.
No, I think
hot box.
Yep. The cookies, the hot box, the the High Point, the burgers. No, I don't know. I think for me,
what's a nice night? What's like a date night spot you think? Like a really nice restaurant you like?
We always do love Katie's Pizza. Mm-hmm. I actually will say my buddy Matt Glicker, Chef Matt, who was one of the head chefs at Sugar Fire originally, just opened a spot called the Westchester out in Chesterfield.
Yeah.
I heard of that.
I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not or been there.
We need to go out there.
Dude, seriously, I told him this, like some of seriously the best food I've had in St. Louis, no doubt. So
he's going to crush it over there.
Night out, like right now, if I had to recommend a place for somebody and they're going for good food, that's where I would go for sure. Mm-hmm. Just because it's incredible. He knows what he's doing over there. Mm-hmm. And then kind of recently I've been like, I think when we're going out and about on the town, Tam Ave has been kind of a chill spot lately. From like my 30-something-year-old like group. It's kind of chill. It's not, I can't do the wheelhouse late night and like I used to. Although I may be doing some brunches over there, playing some acoustic.
That's different when the sun's up. It's
before
fun.
Like Blues games and stuff.
Let's be honest, brunch is great, especially like if you do want to go to wheelhouse, you get your dance on a little bit, you get your drinks, good food, and then you can go take a nap.
In bed by 8. I like the in bed by 8 o'clock.
Just go take a nap. Shoot, 8 o'clock, like 4 o'clock, you're like, okay,
100%.
lay on the couch.
No, but that Tam Ave's been kind of cool lately. We've just been hanging out.
Yeah,
Got a good little outdoor patio, and it's that good local feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they play they're like a big, is it soccer games that they do there? I mean, it's all games, all sports.
Yeah, I know they do meat bingo.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, I won like a pound of meat or something.
Okay.
A couple pounds. It was more than a pound. One bingo that we won, it literally gave us like a cut chicken to take home.
And you just threw it in the car.
That's it, ready. Dinner served.
Hey, oh my gosh.
Are you allowed to say? Like,
yeah,
I know you got, but like, what is your, what do you really like?
So,
what's your like spot?
Tell us. So
because I texted you even, Aaron from Arch Apparel and I got drinks at Yellow Belly, which was bomb. Tim over there makes some incredible drinks. We went to the Lazy Tiger. Mm-hmm. So like drink bar wise, like
that's a vibe.
That was incredible.
That was one of our first amazing experiences in St. Louis.
I would say our two like celebratory spots were Vendaset, which we can't go there anymore. And then
Yellow Belly, Charlie Gito's
is where we would go for every anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So
those were our two celebratories. I said our favorite brunch is Russell's over on Macklin.
Russell's is great.
Yeah, Russell, that's in the neighborhood, so we can walk up to there. And then Yellow Belly for cocktails. There's so many good cocktail bars. Like I'm a big cocktail
Atmosphere, Adira.
Danny's been driving. She
love it.
She wants me to take her.
We should get that winter chalet.
Let's do it. I say we set it up.
I'll send that DM.
I say we set it up.
I'll send the DM to them and see if they can hook it up.
I'll bring everything else we need. Come on, good times.
Yeah. But we get invited to a lot of places, as you do, like, which that's like one of the cool things about like what we do is like on social is like if something's opening, they just hit us up. And we'll slide over, and we get to try these things because like. Sometimes you need like motivation to go try something new. You only have so many nights to go out.
Exactly.
You're like, I know Katie's is good.
I look at your guys' stuff and it's like constantly good. I don't know how you do it.
Well, we share a lot of other people's stuff though too. We share a lot of other people's stuff, and then we have a couple people on the team that will go out and do stuff and like stuff like that. But yeah, people are like, "Oh, you went there last night?" I'm like, "No, I was in bed."
But you still like to try it. Like
that doesn't happen often.
I do like to try new things. Yeah. I will say there's like a if I'm talking, we're going up the street, Michael's in Maplewood.
Okay, I've never been there.
Oh, great spot.
Yeah.
Got some Greek. They got Olympia and Michael's, like some Greek restaurants.
Right there,
great spots. But Michael's, their burger with the soft cheddar. I mean,
come on.
Come on, dude. Good God. That is incredible.
Well, we'll end it with that, man. We'll hit up Michael's and we'll tag Rich's Instagram so that you guys can follow him. And then, tune in on Fridays. We do, not only do we give you guys 3 things to do in the Lou on Y98, but we also do Rich's remix, which I'm going to actually share the video of the 100K remix. Oh, yeah. That shit popped off. That was a good song, but yeah, going forward, we haven't even named the song yet, but the Bucket List Anthem is going to be on everyone. I think
Bucket List Anthem. We got to it's a little Nelly. We got to get Nelly on board with it.
Well, we got to get Nelly. So
is he is he next week?
So when this episode,
he is next week, indeed.
When this episode comes out, we're doing a thing with Aaron from Arch Apparel. We're doing a blanket. Yeah, it's called "I'm from the Lou and I'm Proud."
Okay,
and it's going to charity, so it's gonna be dropping.
Oh yeah, he was talking about this. This is an awesome idea.
Yeah, so it's gonna be dropping. But we're gonna try to get Nelly on board with that. But yeah, he'll be on the show. I'll have my people reach out
at some point. Yeah, it's a little preview now. Stay tuned. Nelly's coming.
But yeah, thank you again to Matt in the back on the 1s and 2s. He was moving the cameras and lights around to make sure that this video is going to be perfect for the intro. Shout out Forehand, so we never go thirsty on the show. And then the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis, guys, support local art, and that doesn't stop at the art institutions. It's independent artists as well. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you
for being on the show.